I'm going to take you on a journey through some incredible experiences that left me crying in my spaghetti, traveling halfway around the world, walking on fire, and begging for forgiveness. There have been times in my life when I was so full of love that I was bursting at the seams, and times when I have suffered heartache so baffling I felt broken into teeny tiny little pieces, wondering how I would ever pull myself back together again. This book is a collection of honest, raw, and vulnerable stories about my adventures, the lessons I've learned along the way, and how I eventually applied my knowledge to cracking my own life's code, turning the corner from victim to victor, and embarking on a true journey of self-discovery. As a child, I found the outlet of writing took me to so many magical and imaginary places that no one else around me seemed to understand. I filled books and books with pages of notes, love letters, song lyrics, and poetry. Silent words that were a part of my history, kept hidden under the mattress of my bed, and then followed me around the planet, eventually landing in the basement of my current home. In the process of writing this book, I spent a year digging into whatever diaries still remained in my possession. Some of my collection had been lost over the years by way of inadvertently leaving books behind in a move, and others got burned in an intentional fire. But as I read through the words, I found myself reaching through my memories, going as far back as necessary to find the reasons for the lost loves, anguish, and explanations of why I stayed or why I simply had to go. I stumbled across educational exposures, entries that sent me back to high school like a slingshot, humorous accounts of ridiculousness, and nightmares of me running away from all of it like a movie on double speed. I found vision boards that displayed the hopes of now actualized dreams, of which I congratulated myself for, and ones that never materialized, for which I offered myself grace. I laughed out loud, I cried, and then I cried some more. I remembered what I had intentionally forgotten, and I discovered new truths amongst the lies that had been buried years and years ago. The stories rediscovered on those pages, coupled with the experiences etched in my memory, are the stories that are about to unfold on the pages before you. As I wrote this book, I pushed and I pulled, I expanded and I contracted. I forced myself into cathartic exercises of reliving my past and preparing for my future as I poured my heart and soul into every sentence within every story. It has been a fascinating, messy, and sometimes discouraging process where a lot of painful tears gave way to moments of joyous clarity. But through it all, the realization that I was on a greater journey than just writing a book came to light. My soul started to shift. I discovered myself within the depths of these stories and found a deep-rooted sense of pride emerge while I scrawled the words onto these pages and lovingly crafted the masterpiece of this book. The ratchet strap around my heart started to loosen. I now understand that I had initially embarked on a mission to capture the facts of my life, but the process evolved into a spiritual journey instead. The more I wrote, the more I evolved and the more confident I became in my ability to overcome my own limiting belief of not being enough for some and my contradicting fears of being too much for most. A primary theme throughout these stories focuses on these limiting beliefs, getting out of toxic and abusive relationships, and about healing from the inside. I talk about defining your core values so you can end decades of frustration as you sync your new reality and unleash your beauty from within, unencumbered and empowered.